Hi, Charles. Hi, little moon. Are you asking me if I meditate? Like if I still meditate, like in general? Thank you, Paul. I do meditate, but it's like I don't even call it meditation anymore because I can just really quiet my mind. It's easy for me to quiet my mind. So for me, like even just in the mornings, if like I'm in it, like usually in the mornings I have like resistance, like I'm in that heavy energy at first. So I just move in silence. So that's like a form of meditation to me. I usually, before I start my day, I also do with that. I do that. I just quiet my mind. But like if I am in the mornings, I like to kind of move in silence, like not really have anything going on, no distractions. And that really just raises my energy. I start to feel better once I do that. So, how do you deal with repetitive thoughts? So when it comes to repetitive thoughts, when you're in those lower energies, you really just want to relax as much as you can. That's the practice that you want to keep doing. You want to make that a habit, is by relaxing into those lower energies, those repetitive thoughts. That's like you reacting. And just seriously, you just got to completely relax your body as much as you can. And because you're reacting, you're tense, you're allowing something to bother you, right? So you're trapped in a lower energy. So basically just relax. Just relax. You just relaxing and moving slower is slowing down the momentum of that repetitive thought. It may still be repeating in your mind, but you're giving it no power when you're slowing down your energy, when you're breathing slower, when you're relaxing into it. It is actually dying off in that moment when you do that practice. Doesn't mean it might not still be repeating in your mind, but you're not giving it that power where we let something bother us, that emotion behind that. When you're just moving at a slower pace, you're breathing slower, even though that may be going on in your mind, you're saying everything's working out fine, I'm exactly where I need to be. You're not giving it that emotional charge that it needs to keep thriving. Does that kind of make sense? Oh, you'll know if it's your intuition. So how you start strengthening your intuition is by making everything in life about feeling. You want to make everything about how you feel. So you start out by doing what you can do in your everyday life, just to do things you like, do things you love. What do you love to do? I always say it's personal to everyone. Like I always bring up examples like, I like to paint my nails. I like to clean my house. I like to do my hair. I love, getting ready in the mornings, putting on makeup, stuff like that, hanging out with my kids. Make it personal. So you're doing things that feel good to you, right? So you want to make it about feeling, because intuition is about feeling, right? So start doing things you like and making it more about feeling, asking yourself questions like, what would I rather do right now? Would I rather do this or would I rather do that? What would feel better right now? Would I rather just relax or would I rather go take a walk? So ask yourself those types of things, and that will strengthen your intuition, because again, intuition is about feeling. When you're not feeling so good, you stay calm. Literally, that's all you're doing. When you're not feeling good, you're just staying as calm as possible. Quiet your mind as much as possible. Try not to sometimes you can distract yourself from a negative thought by just doing something like listening to a song. Sometimes you can do that, and that's because you didn't let it pick up momentum. That's why it's easy sometimes to just jump to something else and feel better. But if you jump to something else and you still don't feel better, that's when you want to take a step back and just relax and breathe slower and let that momentum slow down for a second. Then you go do something else. then you listen to music, then you call a friend. Do you kind of get what I'm saying there? Oh, thanks, guys. Is this recorded? I can actually start uploading these if you want me to. I know I always say I'm going to upload them, but onto my YouTube. If you guys want me to start doing that, I can. So you hear a lot of times people say to flip a thought or to persist in your manifestation. But you don't want to do that when you're feeling like crap, because you're doing absolutely no service for yourself at all. You're just causing yourself more resistance. You actually want to take a second and relax first. You want to feel better first. And you don't even have to persist in a manifestation, because the manifestation's already done. If anything, you want to take your attention off of it as much as you possibly can and focus on yourself and feeling good. The key is to feel good without it. Yes, David, I know, because it works for me. Because I suffered with anxiety as a child and even as a teenager, even as an adult. And I'm telling you, remaining calm is literally, it's the key to everything. It's just because when you're remaining calm and you're breathing slower, you're bringing all that energy back onto yourself. You're realizing, you're releasing resistance in that moment, and you're realizing you're okay and you're fine, and you just start to feel better. You have confidence again in yourself. You feel better. You feel that relief. How would you remove blockages between you and an ex? So you're never removing blockages. You're never doing any of that. You're not removing anything. You're not working to cut through limiting beliefs or any of that. The only thing you're doing is you're knowing that there is a healthy version of that relationship. There's a healthy version of that relationship, a happy, healthy version of that relationship, whatever that may mean for you. And you're moving towards that by focusing on yourself, believe it or not, by feeling good on your own, right? And by when that person is in your life and, approaching you in any way, you're just staying very calm. If you're feeling triggered in those moments, you're practicing remaining calm and kind and coming from calm. I would say calmness and kindness to yourself, kindness to them. And that's going to change the relationship. When you start feeling better, when you start feeling good on your own, everything changes around you, basically. Forcing myself to work out, Sunny, as in like working out, like the gym type workout, like lifting weights and stuff like that. Is that what you mean, Sunny? By that question? I never force myself, Sunny. Like for me, it's always like, if I'm in the mood, if I feel like I want to, I do. I never feel guilty if I miss it. I always make up for it. I can miss 3 or 4 days. It's all about guilt. Don't feel guilty for not doing something, right? Always like just get really calm, and just say, if I don't feel like, would I rather not do this right now, or would I rather do this? Don't force yourself to work out, because then again, you're causing yourself more resistance. Take a second, take a step back and be like, do I really feel like doing this right now? And it's a toss up sometimes, because sometimes you feel guilty for not doing it, but then you're forcing yourself if you do it. So you kind of have to weigh out your options in that moment and just get really calm and say, maybe I'll just do a little workout. Maybe I'll do a mini workout. Or, and it's really about practicing dropping that guilt from not doing something all the time. Like, you don't have to always work out, Hi, Cece. Yeah. So for me, it's like a thing where I do work out every day. I kind of just have a little bit of a routine. But if I miss 2 or 3 days, I do not feel guilty. But working out for me is just like, it's very natural, it's very easy, but I also do extremely small workouts. I do what I love to do. There's nothing that I do that I don't like when I work out. So I think it plays a part a little bit, Sonia. Like in the beginning, I was doing, I never really was into affirmations, more so general affirmations, like everything's always working out for me. I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm here to live an amazing life. I'm supposed to feel good. Like I like general affirmations, but never in regards to a manifestation. Journaling, I did when I first found out about creating your own reality and manifestation. But I don't journal anymore at all. I don't script or do any of that anymore. I've learned more through my experience that you don't have to really do any of that. You really only have to truly, it's going to be so ridiculously simple, but you really only have to focus on yourself and feeling good on your own and understanding that like you're literally here to live an amazing life and you are actually supposed to feel good. And even if you're not clear on some things that you want, life will help you get clear when you make it about feeling good. I like to actually really make it about releasing resistance and working with resistance and understanding resistance, because once you can understand resistance and really understand your emotions, that's pretty much the same thing, you will be so like in flow all the time and catching those moments when you drop in those lower energies. I do love music, Sunny. I'm very funny about music. Like I have to be in the mood for certain kinds of music in that moment. But no, I love music. If you guys see me on my any of my vlogs, I'm in my car singing 24/7. Like I'm always listening to music. And I listen to all kinds of music. Everything but country music. I don't know why. I could never get in that like trend of country music. I even like Christmas music. Like I will listen to Christmas music when I'm cooking dinner and like stuff like that by myself, like with my headphones on. My kids crack up because I'll be singing Christmas music in in March. Yeah, I don't like force, again, I can't force to like things. So I like some country songs. They're like country pop songs here and there that pop. Oh, I like this one. But like my whole family loves country music. I just don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't. It's so funny, and a lot of like you guys are all saying the same thing, because it's actually more rare to find people that like. It's rare to find people that don't really like country music. So what do you mean by feeling guilty about a manifestation? So you just have to take your attention off this manifestation as much as possible, because there's so many mixed emotions when it comes to a manifestation. And the more that you work on yourself and feel better on your own, you're going to line up with that manifestation very easily. Just keep reminding yourself to drop all the because you're in the beginning, you're in opposition of your manifestation for the most part. So you really just want to take your attention off of it. Just tell yourself it's done. It's unfolding in this very moment. Any of those energies that like aren't serving you towards it will go away, because you'll start to line up with it when you start to feel better without it. The guilt, the doubt, the worry, and all that. It's all kind of like, it all connects. Make it simple. Simplify this as much as possible. That's why I love the fact that you're only making it about resistance, and that's it. Resistance will tackle everything. It will, once you understand resistance and you practice staying calm when you don't feel good, it's going to move you towards everything that you possibly want. Your amazing life, all your manifestations, it's going to move you towards everything. It's going to take care of everything. Hi Lee, how are you? How can you fight the urges like checking your 3D or... So you're going to have to just eventually get tired of it, Kat, because you have to understand, Kat, that when you're checking the 3D and all that kind of stuff, you're not allowing it to unfold. Because if you're too fixated on this other version, you're just going to keep getting the other version. So you really have to be able to take your attention away from it by focusing on yourself, by telling yourself it's done and that it's unfolding in this very moment. But every time you start looking for evidence, let's just call it looking for evidence because the story doesn't matter. If it's not serving you, that's all that matters. Is if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't serve you. The more that you keep doing that, you're just recreating stuff. It's resistance. It's all that's resistance. The story that doesn't serve you is resistance. It's just make it really simple and know that that doesn't serve you. What doesn't feel good doesn't serve you. So in those moments, you got to really remain calm, and you can use it to your advantage by remaining calm and not and being unbothered by it. But a lot of people can't do that because they keep reacting to it. Does that kind of make sense? So it can change. It can actually change while you're watching the old version. The old version can change while you're watching it if you can remain unbothered. But a lot of people can't. They keep reacting to it. Does that kind of make sense? So you really want to, that's why a lot of people have to just completely block and stay away and do the no contact thing, because it's just too, it causes them just to react way too much. No problem. Hi, Mara. So it's really good to use, that's why I say you're using everything in this, like your current reality right now, to help you practice non-reaction, to become unbothered. That's what's going to make you a master manifester, is by you just becoming very unbothered. Because the more you become unbothered, the more you are secure in who you are. You're in alignment. You feel good no matter what's happening around you. You're good with resistance. So if anything pops up out of nowhere that's unexpected, you know how to stay calm now and trust that it will resolve itself, and it will resolve itself. And that's you becoming a master manifester. It's so funny, Sunny, like when it comes to a podcast, I don't really know where to start with that yet, but maybe that's in my future. People always say it all the time. Maybe that's in my future. Who knows? How will you deal with a negative person and two-faced person? Well, Mar, just remember, okay, so it's okay. How I kind of explain it is that when you're saying someone's negative and they're two-faced, you're going to keep recreating that same person over and over again by you matching that, right? So it's your job to stay in a higher energy around that person, to stay positive around that person, to not let them, however they're behaving, to affect you. Because if you're letting it affect you, you're going to keep recreating it, because you're reacting. That's reacting. So every time someone is in your life and you're picking up negative energy, or you're saying these things about them, you're just going to keep recreating that. So you really have to stay in a higher energy. You have to find ways to soften that and say, oh, everybody is where they are. And you have to kind of take your attention away from them as much as possible and focus on yourself and feeling good no matter what. Because when you feel good no matter how anyone's behaving around you, people will match your energy or they fade out of your life. And it's not your job to figure out how that all unfolds for you. It just works itself out. But it's only your job to feel good, right? You have to feel good on your own. You have to feel good no matter what. Does that kind of make sense? I guess I could, Sunny, I would maybe start writing a list of ideas of topics that people talk about a lot. But it gets overwhelming when I actually do think about doing a podcast. Where do I start? Or what do I do? How do I do that? I have X-May K, but it really was just me saying, I know they're coming back. They came back. And it was more ego-based. It wasn't anything real or legit when it comes to that. I did it, and then I was even excited when the person came back and messaged me, and I'm oh my God, I did this. I knew they were coming back. And then I just knew that it wasn't going to be a connection anymore. I just felt it was more of it wasn't a soul connection or a true desire, if that kind of makes sense. I will, Mara. I'll post this on my YouTube. You said on? Yes, I will. I definitely will this time. I'll start posting these lives on my YouTube. You know, Nick, because you're still not in alignment fully, Nick. You just know, like, you know you're still reacting to life. You know you're still like in those lower energies and you're kind of still confused. You'll know when you start becoming more in alignment and clear on what you truly want. You will know. You will know. That's the best way I can explain it. It's an internal thing. You know, it's like you're not needing validation anymore from anyone. You're secure. You're confident. It just comes with time and doing these practices where you're like, you just know. Like, you're so sure on what you want. There's no hesitation. You're like, I know this is what I want. I know this is what I'm moving towards. I know I'm here to live an amazing life. I know I'm worthy. I know I deserve this. And you just don't care what people think anymore. You just become, you're more in alignment. Hi, Bruce. How are you? Maybe be a guest on someone's podcast this year. Yeah, so I have been on podcasts way back when I first started like writing books and stuff like that. And someone asked me recently, but I know I'm not like, wasn't feeling the vibe or anything, but yeah, that would be good too. So you'll just know as time goes by. Yeah, so Avi, you know how I always explain that? And this is how I always explain that. When you're trying to rush something, it's always like this. It's always like when you're watching a pot of water boil and you're sitting there watching it and it's literally taking forever. Then if you were to walk away and like do cleaning or do some stuff that you wanted to do in that moment while it was boiling, you would come back and the water would be gone because it would evaporate because you were so busy and distracted. So it really is about like distracting yourself. That's why you're supposed to not focus on the manifestation and focus on yourself and actually feeling good without it. Getting yourself to a place to feel good without it. Because the thing is what people don't really get, and it's because there's so many teachings out there, you're actually not supposed to know how this unfolds for you. You're not actually, it's about believing before you see it and in every aspect. So the more that you can actually take your attention off of it, it's better that way. So there's no like living in the end. It's only knowing that it's done. That's all it is. It's just knowing that it's done and it's unfolding in this very moment. A lot of people ask me questions about living in the end and how do I live in the end and how do I be in the desired state. I got a couple questions today about it. And I'm always telling them there is no desired state. It's just knowing that it's done. That's all it is. You are not supposed to know how this unfolds. You don't want to have any part in this. You want to allow it to unfold the best way possible. And how you allow it to unfold the best way possible for you is by focusing on yourself and actually feeling good without it. That's how it's going to really unfold. And it's going to unfold very naturally. But the best part about it is your life gets very comfortable while that's happening. So like it's unfolding, and if you're letting it unfold without rushing it or worrying and taking away all of that, which also takes practice, you'll start to see that your current reality, you're not experiencing your manifestation right away, but it gets very comfortable and it's working in your favor. It really is. And everything is unfolding and you're starting to kind of see things come together, but you're not 100% knowing how it's going to unfold or pop into your reality. And that's where you want to be. That's the place you want to be. And that takes practice because, guys, I let everybody know this. I've manifested the hard way. Like, I've done it where I was doing stuff and I was doing affirmations and I was taking action because that's where I was. So it's okay. You are where you are, but you keep getting clearer. You keep understanding this more. You keep getting better at it. You keep getting better at it. You trust more, right? So it does take practice, but the practice is truly just feeling the best you can without it and really practicing, practicing non-reaction in your current reality. With everything and everyone in your current reality, you want to practice non-reaction. You like it, Dream? I wasn't sure about it. I was saying, Dream, how like I don't have selfies like that. Like I don't take selfies, right? I have millions of videos that get saved into my phone from here. And I wanted to put a new picture up because that old one was like, I don't know, it was like so old. And that was the only one I had. So I put that up and I was like, do I like it? Do I not? Should I take a selfie? Thank you, Dream. Aw, I love that, Sunny. And I love our Facebook group. I love our Facebook group. I'm trying to like play around with our Facebook group a little bit more, to like make it to where I can get all Abraham videos that I love, my favorites, in a category. I know there's a way to do it, because guys, I used to have so many Facebook groups. Let me just tell you right now, I have done so many different things. I always say everything's leading you up to something. So never think, like, I don't even care. Like, it never, some things never worked out. It didn't even bother me, because I was just always going with the flow, and I didn't care if people got it or not. But anyway, I had so many Facebook groups, so I kind of know how to play around with Facebook groups a little bit. So I want to try to categorize all of my, because people love these Abraham videos. They're my favorite Abraham videos that I listen to every single day. I listen to these videos they're right to the point. They're simple and they're right to the point. I don't listen to all of Abraham's teachings anymore. I used to, but I don't need them anymore. I just listen to the ones that are right to the point. Jeez, I'm on a rampage tonight, guys. I used to have a lot of Facebook. Did you, Dream? Dream, you're like me. You're like on the same path as me, right? It's like you're always learning more. You're always figuring out more. You're always finding new ways, and like you just go with it. Like people probably thought I was nuts. I was always talking about like my stuff. I was so passionate about it. I would get like one like. I would post a video on my Facebook, because this was all people that I grew up with, people that I knew. I was doing things the hard way too. I was trying to I was not forcing people to get this, but I was like, kind of was in a way too. Like I wanted people to get this, right? And you learn so much as you go that that's not how it works. It's literally not how it works. It's really about alignment. It's about alignment, and then everything starts showing up very naturally. You don't have to do nothing. It comes to you. That's where the law of attraction, I know the law of attraction, like people, that's where it really, see, that's why people jump to the law of assumption. This is my theory. People don't give the law of attraction enough time to work. They're impatient, so they jump to these other things. They're like, oh, the law of assumption. I don't even know the law of assumption that well, but from my intuition tells me that people like jump to these other things because they're not doing the energy work. They're not aligning first. It's not working. Nothing's working. I'm not able to manifest the money and the relationships and the this and that. It's because you need to be in alignment first. You need to do that energy work first. So you have to give it time. So people aren't patient enough to let this stuff just happen the right way for them, that they rush into like these other ways of doing things. I don't know, Mara. I would be giving you the wrong definition of the law of assumption, so I'm the wrong person to ask. But I never resonated with those teachings of like self-concept work and the law of assumption and like all those teachings and persisting in a manifestation. I know that has a lot to do with it. I just personally never resonated with that myself. So I don't know. I just trust my intuition and I just keep moving forward. I ask more questions. I'm always like, there has to be an easier way. That this can't be it. Persisting in something, it just always felt like I felt not worthy doing that, right? You're supposed to feel worthy. I felt not worthy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like exactly. And I always say that to people. I always say that NERC is like literally like, you know, you can listen to a million different people and you can get something from everyone. That's what I did. I listened to Joe Dispenza and Eckhart Tolle and Abraham. They were like my three favorites. And Bob Proctor. And you get something from all of them, and you kind of come up with your own way of doing things, your own path of least resistance, right? So like, you know, never, like I always say, never, like people will say stuff to me and I'm like, I don't want you to just 100% listen to every word I say. Abraham Hicks even says that. She says, like, you have to trust yourself. Like, that's what this is about. This is about coming into your own power, right? Not about, like, following someone else. Like, you want to be in control of your reality. You are in control, right? Like, does that kind of make sense? When you're in alignment, you don't need to do anything. No need to. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Ava, you just kind of just go with it and you just know everything's falling into place for you. I never did a vision board. I never I never felt like doing one. I'm so bad that I actually called it a memory board on one of my videos. I said, you don't have to do a memory board. No, I never did a visual, one of those things. Yeah, I think that's what I'm really good at teaching, Nurk. I think I'm really good at helping people with resistance and remaining calm, because I will dive right in. I will dead face a negative emotion. Like, I will look it dead in the face and sit there. Oh, there's a little fly in my... I'm not afraid of them. And that's what I'm trying to tell people, not to be afraid of it, right? And that's because I was always afraid of it as a child. So, like, that was something that I always wanted to conquer. And I think that's where I'm really good at. I'm good at helping people release resistance. Yeah, Dream. Like, because the world's so big. I mean, like, there's so many different ways of doing things. There's not just one way of doing something, right? Like, their own, it's like their own belief systems. And some of them actually, you know, work for them still. You don't want to get rid of all of your belief systems. Some of them are pretty good, right? Hi, Hebe. You know what's so funny, Mike? I actually said that I would never want to do that, but I actually thought about wanting to do that, like skydive. But you know what's funny? I don't think I would ever want to bungee jump, though. Bungee jumping, for some reason, I don't want to do that. That scares me more than skydiving, and I don't know why. Oh, I love that, Hebe. Hebe, every time I see your picture, you resemble my my sister-in-law, and every time I see it, like, it just like it makes me think of her. Your profile picture. Oh, that's awesome, Sunny. I love that. I love that I did. Hi, Thomas. Oh no, I love her. She's everyone in my life is awesome. Seriously, like, I have nobody that I don't love in my life. No, she's super. She's probably the sweetest person ever. Hebe, don't worry. And I always wanted to try. Do you ever see those things where, like, you get inside those things? Is that what you're talking? I don't know what you're talking about, Mike, but it's like you go in those things and you just, like, fly up and down in those. It's not real skydiving, but it's like, you know, it's like, I don't know, a replica of it or something like that. You did bungee jump? Oh gosh. Yeah, the indoor skydiving. Yes, I will definitely post this on my YouTube, guys. This live on my YouTube. I promise this time. It takes practice to get to that point where you're, like, consistently feeling good. And it's because you're good with, like, you just start, you're on top of things. Like, when you find yourself maybe dropping, you'll catch it quicker. So that's what's going to happen more when you do this practice. You will become more in alignment and feel better most of the time. Someone had a question for me today and said, you know, you shouldn't be teaching people to, like, feel better when they've had all this trauma, blah, blah, blah. And I know not everybody understands this fully. So, and I always make people understand, this is really important to know. You're not jumping to a higher energy and you're in these higher energies and that's it. You're not jumping from lower to higher. This is a very gradual change. It's so gradual that you don't even realize it, that one day you wake up and you're in alignment most of the time. And I am in alignment most of the time, but that doesn't mean I'm always in a high, super high energy. Right now I am, because when I do these lives, I like talking about this stuff, and I've been doing it for a while, so now I'm pretty good at answering these questions. Everything takes practice. Everything in life takes practice. So doing the practice of non-reaction takes practice, but the more you practice non-reaction, on the other side of that is everything that you want, is your best life. So the more you practice that and releasing resistance, you do start to feel better. It just happens very, very naturally. I know. So contrast, you're always going to feel lower energies. Like, you should never be suffering. That's the problem, is that people are stuck in negative emotion. People are stuck in it. People are trying to figure things out. They're in problem solving mode most of the time, and they're trapped in it. Lower energies are only supposed to be guidance. They're only supposed to say that you would rather not experience that. You would rather go that way. Like, I think this job would be better for me. This was not really a good experience. I'm going to move towards this. That's all it's really there for. It's just guidance, but we stay trapped in it. We get ourselves trapped in it, right? We complain. So you don't realize when you're lower energies is like you keep recreating the same scenario over and over again. People don't realize that, right? That's why we're at a time now where we're understanding this now. It's like, come on now, we got to get people out of these lower energies. We're all just trapped in these lower energies, right? You're not living in these lower energies at all. You're not living life. You're here to live life. This is literally just an experience. This is supposed to be a fun experience. So that's why more people are talking about this and becoming aware and waking up to this. People are asking questions and wondering why they're suffering, why they're not feeling good. And when you ask that question, you're going to start becoming aware of the information, and then life's going to take you on a journey. Yeah, you're not supposed to just, like, another thing is like, I love Abraham Hicks is like, this is supposed to be fun. Manifesting, once you are aware that you create your own reality, after you practice like non-reaction for a little bit, this is supposed to really start to be fun for you. That's like the point is to let this unfold in a very fun way, not to just manifest $1 million like in that moment. You want it to you want to grow and expand. You want to see the ways that it's going to come into your life. When you do, like, when you're in a relationship, you want to grow and expand and have fun in that relationship. Like, that's what these things are. You're supposed to grow and expand with these things. Life is supposed to be fun. This stuff's supposed to be fun. I think that's why when I got into manifesting and understanding we create our own realities, it was not fun. The way it was being taught felt like it was like I was still suffering, right? Until I really started understanding that it truly comes down to practicing non-reaction and really practicing non-reaction and staying calm. I think that will lead to feeling good. But you can add feeling good along the way. Like, just do little things that feel good throughout your day. If you like to sit out like in the sun, or if you like to go for walks or do little things, like, you can add those things, just really basic things, because that'll help you. And do the thing of like where you're asking yourself, like, does this feel good or does that feel good? Another thing I always tell people to do is catch yourself when you find yourself getting bored, because right underneath bored is when you start to drop in lower energies. So if you're laying around and you find yourself getting bored, get up and just take a walk, because that'll get you right out of it. Yes, right, Thomas? Well, guess what, Money Mike? You can, like, I have so many videos that you can, like, that are really good. I just pinned my one, that the affirmations where you're here to live an amazing life, that one. A lot of people really like that one. So I pinned that on there. But like, some of my videos are really, I listen to some of my videos because they help. Like, it's stay calm, because that's really key. Calmness will get you out of any mess that you're in. So that's why we say you can't mess this up, because just remind, I know this stuff feels so real, guys, but it's really not. Wait till you see things start fading out of your life. You'll realize it's not so real, and like, you really are supposed to here to live an amazing life and supposed to have fun experiences. And when you stay calm, everything just kind of works in your favor. So don't get upset if you're reactive and you keep reacting. Just keep practicing calmness, because like I said, calmness will get you out of any mess. Aw. Thanks, sis. I can't say these names sometimes. SIK Nut. And I don't want to bash them. But I will put, would you just quit? Oh, wait, did you have a question about, so what would you do if you were stressed out from work? Okay, so from work. Okay, so this is a good question. So what would you do if you are stressed from work, but you need money? Would I just quit? That's where you want to ask yourself in that moment. You say to yourself, am I going to have more resistance if I quit this job? Or am I going to feel relief if I quit this job? If you quit it, are you going to have more resistance because you don't have money, right? Or should you just stay put and practice remaining calm at that place, practicing non-reaction at that place, feeling the best you can at that place, and letting things unfold in a better way for you? Okay? So, because I've been there. Because if you just quit, if you feel confident enough to quit and you'll be okay, that's okay. But if it's going to cause you more resistance, don't do it. Stay there. Practice non-reaction. Feel good there while you can. Do the best you can to feel good. You don't have to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect. Does that kind of make sense? Don't worry about that too much. It'll fall into place knowing what path, your path and all that, and you'll get more clear the more you feel good in your current reality. The more you practice feeling good in your current reality, making the best of what you have, even though it's not what you want. You make the best of what you have and practice staying calm when you don't feel so good. You will get clear. Don't worry about that. Like people always say, you need to be clear. You need to have a set intention. And no, you don't. That causes so much stress on people. I don't even, because you're not, honestly, in all honesty, you're really not supposed to know how these things unfold. The more that you can release resistance, the better. So don't stress yourself out about what path you should be on or what am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? Your only job is to feel good and feel the best you can. And the more you do that, the more things will line up for you very effortlessly. Oh, no problem. I'm going to call you Anna. Oh, no problem. Yeah, like just breathing, Sunny, like even just like taking that step back and just like breathing slower. Because I know, because I still get resistance in the mornings. So I need to, and I always tell people how I was such a morning person and now I'm like, I have to like, it takes me time to like get out of that, because the biggest thing about that, I tell people that's kind of normal. It's because you don't have any resistance when you're sleeping. So you wake up and you feel a little heavy. So I just go really slow in the mornings. I take my time and that gets me out of it. Like just by not really listening to anything, I just quiet my mind as I'm moving throughout my morning. Oh, see, Thomas, that's good. Like, so for you, Thomas, it was okay because you knew you had a backup. But for someone that may not have a backup, that may just cause them more resistance if they leave their job. Because I remember being in that position and I stayed because I couldn't leave. In that time, I still had limiting beliefs that were saying that I couldn't leave. What about seeing or manifestations? So it's okay. Signs are really just to say like you're doing good, you're doing a good job, but it's not really there to like say that it's going to show up any minute or get it, like, because that can also keep you in like an energy of like always feeling like you're waiting and you're so focused on waiting. Just get excited if you see a sign or you see something that makes you feel good, and just know you're in alignment and you're where you're supposed to be. And just leave it at that. From there, just keep focusing, on yourself and feeling good and practicing non-reaction and just knowing that it's done and it's still unfolding. You can use it as knowing that it's unfolding for you. That's really Sunny. That's awesome. Oh, without a doubt, Mara, everything will fall into place. Mara, everything will fall into place. Like literally when I say you're moving on, like that's why I say the only affirmation you need is that I'm here to live an amazing life and I'm supposed to feel good. And everything will take care of itself if you keep making about feeling the best you can in each moment and remaining calm when you don't. Everything will take care of itself. Have you had any good experiences with SP you had resistance to? Not really. No, not any resistance or anything like that. For me, it was just knowing like that this really wasn't it for me, that I still wanted to do more work on myself and become the best version of me without a relationship. That's where like what I learned from that I was not ready in that moment. You don't want to rush. You don't want anything to come half-fast. Like people that are just manifesting and they're just like, I need this relationship. I need this. Like that's such needy energy. And you're never going to be fulfilled if you manifest something into your life that way. You don't want to rush that. You want it to just come when you know you're ready. Like you want to know like, yes, I know it's here because I know I'm ready. That's why it's here. Does that kind of make sense? That's with anything you're manifesting. Even money. Do you know how many times I manifested money and lost money, had money, lost money because I wasn't really aligned with it, right? I was forcing it through affirmations. That's another reason why I don't like affirmations when you're manifesting something. I don't think you're not really fully aligned with it. It's almost like you're bringing it in and then you're losing it. You're bringing it in and then you're losing it. It's all going to come down to alignment. I don't care what anybody says and what anybody's teaching out there. You truly need to become in alignment with yourself in order for these things to fully stick and for you to fully grow and, expand with these things in the right way. Oh, that's so funny, Sunny. I'm on the opposite. So at night, I'm in this like probably because I do these lives too. I'm in this like super high energy and I'm like, I can't settle down at night. I was the total opposite before I knew this. I would be in bed by like 9 o'clock and I'd be up at like 5 a.m. I'm a better person now and talking to you has helped me so much. I know, it's funny, like Heather, it's nice when people resonate with me. Like I'm okay. I'm not going to tell people not to do them. Do whatever feels good for you. But it's so nice. There's so many people that resonate with me and, they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found you because I was so sick and tired of doing affirmations. Like I did affirmations for like a week and I'm like, absolutely no, this is not happening anymore. Like this is like, I called it a full-time job. It felt like a full-time job. What were you saying, Mike? Hi, Eva. Yes, girl. Yes. It's done. It's done. It's done, Eva. And of course you deserve it. That will come with time. You'll just know that you're worthy. Like all that just happens with time. The more that you practice, alignment is feeling, you could say alignment, Eva, is you get to a point where you're feeling good without it. You're so confident. You just know it's going to show up. You know you deserve it. And that's when you're at a place where you're feeling good without these things because you're feeling good in your current reality. You're making the best of your current reality, even though your manifestations, they're not here yet. But you're at such a place where you're like, you feel good without them. You're not triggered anymore. You're unbothered. That's when they show up the right way for you. Hi, Nathan. Right, Dream? I mean, me too. I've always been like that. I've always been that way. Like, nobody could tell me. Like, I'd be like, no, I don't think it's that way. Like, I would never argue with anyone, though. I never argue with anyone. I never try to get people to believe in what I believe in. Like, if people would argue with me, I'd be like, okay. And I would just, in my mind, I'd be like, oh, I'm doing it my way. Like, it was just, I was doing it my way, but I wasn't going to argue with anyone. Like, that's how I've always been. without a doubt, Eva, when you're remaining calm, everything is working in your favor. You hold all the power in that moment when you can bring that energy back into you. If something's triggering you and you're upset, and if you can get yourself to a pretty still energy in that moment, it takes a little bit of practice, but do this practice all the time, because you will literally watch things work in your favor in those moments. Like it will. It's for the highest good of everybody, though. It's not mind control, because you're in a higher energy. You're coming from a loving energy for everybody to benefit, right? Like I said, I've seen so many benefits from people around me. I know, Mike, I never argued with people. I never held grudges. I never argued. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I just walk away. I think that's why I've never had a lot of friends, because I always used to say, like, having a lot of girlfriends to me felt like it would have been a lot of work. So like I just always kept my bubble very small. It'll get better, Mike. It will. Keep doing this practice. Keep doing these practices, sticking to these practices, taking your time, Mike. Again, like, do the breathing exercises, move slower, and things will start leveling out. Things will start slowing down. They will. I mean, I was in that same place as you, where I felt like I had no time. And I wanted to prove it to myself. I don't know who else I was proving it to, but I guess to myself, that I could do this even though I was working and I was so busy and my life was crazy. I wanted to prove that I could do this even here. I think it was because I wanted to help people in any way possible. I think that's really what it came down to. Like, I am healthy is something. So you could say, yeah, I mean, based on how you feel, Mara, if you're saying an affirmation and you're like I love to add I know to things, because I think I know is powerful. Like, I know I'm healthy, right? Like, I know I'm here to live an amazing life. But always check in with how you feel when it comes to an affirmation. If that feels good saying that, like, I'm healthy, then say it. Like, you can say whatever you want as long as it feels good to you. But if you feel like resistance, or you feel like you're not believing it, or you feel robotic, don't say it, because you're honestly just wasting your time. You're better off just getting very calm and maybe doing some breath work instead, just to relax and feel better that way. Yeah, Nathan, right? Everything takes practice. I always say, like, things take practice. Practice is like my favorite word. Like, it just takes practice. Me too, Dream. And I love that, because you do, Dream, with all your content. And I think that's what it is. I think we all have a desire within us to help others. Like, we all want to help others, right? Like, I know I've always been that way. Like, I never was one to, like, I always wanted to share whatever knowledge I had, with even silly things like, I got this amazing skin product for $3. Like, I've always been like that. Like, I want to share whatever I can to help people. And I think we all have that within us. Right? Dream, like, at first it was always like forcing, right? It was like, you got to know this. You got to know this information. But now it's like, hey, listen, people jump on every now and then I get someone that, like, they're like, well, I don't think you're teaching this right, or something like this. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, I'm sharing through my experience and what has worked for me. And if you resonate with it, you resonate. If you don't, that's okay. Like, you don't have to, because we're all different. Like, we're not all going to resonate with the same stuff. Yes, Rock, that is so true. It is so true. What is that one saying, like, people can only love you as much as they love themselves, or something like that? I just feel like there's a lot of truth to that, right? When it comes to yourself, like, you can only love others as much as you love yourself, right? Yes, we don't gatekeep. That's the word, Dream. I am not a gatekeeper. I share everything. I don't hold nothing from nobody. Like, I'm giving everyone exactly what works for me. If something works for me and this helped me, I'm sharing it. And I truthfully come back to you. I think I'm going to jump off though, guys. I'm going to hang out with my daughter. So I'm going to get off in a couple minutes. Oh, thanks, Nathan. I know I really didn't get to stay on too long tonight, but I did want to jump on. I'm trying to jump on here every night, even if it's just for a little bit. Oh yes, I'm going to replay I'm going to start. Remind me, guys, remind me to put these on, to be consistent with putting these on my YouTube, and these lives on my YouTube. And I'll start doing that from now on. You know, like I always used to say, like, I would be like, oh, that one wasn't like that great. I'm just going to post every single one of them from now on. Exactly, Dream. Nothing's personal. And tell me that isn't the most, like, biggest relief when you don't take anything personal anymore and you're not a people pleaser anymore, right? Like I was the biggest people pleaser. I used to be like, I'll just do it because I don't want them to be mad. You know, it's just easier to do it than to not do it. And now I'm able to be like, nah, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna do this instead. It's such a good feeling to be able to start, like, really truly putting yourself first, but not feel guilty about it. Yes, life is too short. And guess what? Like, people actually do respect that. You don't think that at first, but they do. They respect that, like, you are putting yourself first. And here's the thing. Everyone has that, like, option to do that, right? So they can get mad, but guess what? Like, you can do it too. Just people get mad because they're not able to do it, right? Is it okay to block an SP if waiting for their text is true? So if you're just constantly being triggered, I always say do the no contact thing, but you can never don't go no contact or block someone because you're angry, because it's not their fault. You're creating this stuff unconsciously. So you just need to, like, you could politely say, I'm just going to take time for myself. That's what I tell people to do. I tell people to say to them, like, in a positive way, in a kind way, like, I'm just going to take some time for myself and work on myself, and truly do that. Because if you're still being triggered and reacting, you're just recreating the old story over and over again. So it's important to know that what you want is done, and to actually not focus on that at all, and focus 100% on yourself. That's where you're going to see the best results when it comes to a relationship. You know what? I used to do coaching and I stopped. I stopped because I didn't do it for long, because too many people were so fixated on venting about the old stories and keeping it so active. And honestly, I wasn't at a place where I knew how to approach that in the best way possible. So I wasn't ready yet. And I was doing a disservice to others by not being fully ready to, like, say, you have to stop because this is what you're doing wrong, right? So I think now I could probably start coaching. Now I could come up with a plan and start doing it. But I wasn't ready back then because I wasn't able to, like, you know, because people don't understand that you're just recreating the same story over and over again when we keep talking about what we don't want, right? So maybe I'll start. I know a lot of people ask me about it, so maybe I will start doing that. Let me get this book out. Once this book's out, then maybe I'll get into, like, one-on-one coaching again. Right, Dream? Because I think calmness is like everything. I literally think calmness is everything. Yes, and I think about that too, Dream. Like, I have so many things that could be unfolding for me. Like, I did a course. I tell you guys, I did so many things back in the day. I did a course years ago. And it was so funny when I look back at it. And it's like so funny because it's like, I'm talking about vibration and like I look different. I sound different. Like, it's just actually funny when I watch some of my old videos. I laugh at myself. I can't even. It's actually really cringy to watch myself. But yes, I would love to do a course too. Again, like, I want to make sure it's good. Like, I want it to be like on point, like organized, like if I do it. And I want a better camera because I don't like how this camera I know this sounds so petty, but I don't like the way my phone camera is to do a program. Like, I love TikTok videos. I think they look so good. They're like flawless. But like my actual camera, like I don't like the way I look on it. Sounds so stupid, but that's future. Who knows like where it'll take me. First the book, then maybe I'll jump into coaching a little bit, and then down the road definitely do like a program. But I also want it to be simple. Like, I don't want to lose people in the simplicity of how easy this is too. Oh, thank you. Are we getting there? The refresher, I got it today. You know what's so funny, Mara? Someone said to me, I think it was one of the girls that gets them all the time. I need to promote them because I drink them every day and I post about them all the time. She said, does the caffeine affect you from the refresher? And I always had this belief that caffeine doesn't bother me. I've always held on to that belief, but I never even knew there was caffeine in the strawberry refresher. So no, it doesn't affect me because I always have a belief that caffeine doesn't affect me. But I don't know if there's caffeine in them. I didn't think there was, but oh, you know what? There probably is because there's green tea in it. Is there green tea and caffeine? Is there caffeine in green tea? Dunkin' Donuts, Heather. Dunkin' Donuts. How do you let go detach when it comes to a relationship? Because, well, what you're doing when it comes to a relationship is you're just knowing that it's done and it's unfolding in this very moment, and and that's it. That part's done. You're focusing on yourself 100%. You're not focusing on that manifestation at all. You're not manifesting this relationship. You're not doing anything. I mean nothing in regards to this relationship, this manifestation. You're focusing on yourself and getting yourself to a place, this is key, to feel good without it. That's when it's going to come in the best way possible for you. You literally have to feel good without it. You have to get to a point where you feel good no matter what, or else you're going to keep being triggered in a relationship. And that's not a healthy relationship. You want a healthy relationship. All right, I have to jump off. I keep getting asked questions. How fast have you met? So I always tell people don't focus on time when it comes to manifestation. That will drive you crazy. Manifestations are all different. And I've had things come in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. It depends on what you're manifesting. It depends on how big you think something is and how small you think. Everybody has their own limiting beliefs. So never compare yourself to anyone. Just know that you don't want it to come in until it's right. You do not want anything half-assed. You relax your nervous system by practicing staying calm. You have to stay calm. You have to not be afraid when you're in a lower energy. You can't resist. This is resisting. When you're resisting, you're like this. When you're reacting, you're clenching, you get a headache, you're like upset, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're letting something bother you. That's you reacting. So in those moments, you need to practice breathing slower, moving slower, staying so calm, quiet. Think like Sherry, I don't think she's on right now, but she always says, like a turtle, slow like a turtle, move like a turtle. You literally, I'm talking slow motion. That's how you practice calming your nervous system. Breathe slower, move slower, quiet your thoughts as much as possible. I recommend doing a meditation practice, just a small, simple meditation practice. Also, check out my videos. Check out my videos in my playlist. I have tons of videos up there. They're very informative, and they talk about non-reaction. They talk about remaining calm. I also have one on meditation up there, meditation and breath work. Yeah, it all comes down to resistance, Young, and being able to not be afraid of it, right? A lot of people, and this is something I've noticed, when it comes to lower energies, even when you're remaining calm, you're not remaining calm long enough. So a lot of times we don't let it pass. We're like, how long is this going to take? And we start reacting again. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You got to keep staying calm. Shut everything off. Shut your phone off, your music off. Get things really quiet and let that pass. It'll pass. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to feel that relief. So when it comes to resistance, don't be afraid of it. Relax into it. Get really calm. Move slower and let it take as long as it needs to pass. It will pass, I promise you. Like I said, a lot of times we don't give it enough time to just pass, and we start reacting, right? Like we start thinking again, we start worrying again, we start trying to figure it out again. It takes practice, it gets easier. All right, let me jump off here, guys. Everyone have a really good night, and do a retreat. Yeah, like a Joe Dispenza retreat or something like that. Maybe one day, who knows? Who knows? I've actually thought about that too, but then I'm like, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, so that also will help with that too. Calmness is power. Calmness is power, guys. I'm telling you right now, if you even have an upset stomach, or if you ate something, or if you ate too much, or you're just feeling super full, just get real calm, guys. Lay in your bed, close your eyes, breathe really slow. Watch how test it out. I'm not even kidding. Go eat a little, overeat a little bit, and then just go lay in bed, breathe slower, get real calm, relax. It will pass. You'll start to feel better. It's all, calmness is really powerful. Okay, I'm gonna jump off before I can't, and I will post this on my YouTube for you guys. Everyone have a really good night. Separation anxiety. Well, if you're feeling separation, any type of separation at all, it's because you're disconnected from yourself. So when you start feeling good and you do these practices, you're not gonna feel separation anxiety anymore. You're going to feel whole. You're going to feel fulfilled on your own. All that will work itself out. All right, guys. Have a really good night. Thanks again for my moderators. Bye, guys.